Hello, everyone. We are live again. Thank y'all for coming back and watching this. This is like a series of events, right? That we're having conversations about moms, the importance of mental health, especially in this month where we have Mother's Day, and we also have mental health awareness. This is really important. And I have another guest. I have Nisa.
Yes,
I
correct.
said
Nicer, correct. You got it.
Nisa. And make sure y'all say it right because when you look at the name, y'all, this is the thing. It's going to trick your eyes. You're going to, like, I swear, it's just, you're going to think it's spelled different, but it's not. Look at the spelling, it's correct. And we're going to get to know more about Nisa. And she has been such a huge contributor to my spaces, especially in the WIN community. I remember us being in rooms together back in the day and just being supportive, very heavily supportive in our Facebook community group and just really spreading love, right? Spreading love, faith, joy. So I always appreciate that. But I want to get to know more about you, and then we're going to have this conversation. So y'all tune in, share this live. Tell all the moms in your life that we're talking about mental health and how important it is in this month. If any month you're going to talk about it, let's talk about it now, and what really contributes to having a healthier mindset, and also doing the things that support us when we're not at 100%, because sometimes we, like I said before, you can't see the booger on your nose. Well, sometimes. So you have to have someone like point that out and say, hey, what's that? And it's really good to have community for that and support. So part of my community, Nice is one of our members as well. So go ahead and introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are, and we'll take it from there.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Nasya Shepard. I am the CEO and founder of Miracle Moments LLC. And just a little bit backstory about my name. It means miracle of God, which had me start my business, Miracle Moments. It's just spelled differently. So when I was born with esophageal atresia, which means that my esophagus was not hooked up properly to my stomach. So from the hospital that I was born at, I was sent to another hospital, which is called Duke, that repaired my stomach. Well, fixed my esophagus and my to be connected to my stomach. And also, while I was at that facility, I had my heart valve surgery. I had several heart valve surgeries, and the facility that I was at in Duke is called Children's Hospital. So I was there for about a month and a half after I was born, and that's how I. That was one of that was my first miracle moment of my life. The first day I was born. So that to when I was thinking about starting a business, that was one of the names I thought about, miracle moments, because every moment in my life has been my miracle moment, and that had was I was like, so I want a business name that represents me as a person and who I am. So I was like, okay, miracle moments. So why not call it miracle moments, and just I wanted it to be a little different, so I just changed the spelling. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah. So that's a little bit about myself.
I love it. People always wonder about that. I do see a lot of when you're posting too, and I want to ask you about this because you brought up something from the beginning time when you were a baby and you were born, and that was your miracle moment. And listen, to be honest, we all fight to be here. Like they tell us what the process looks like getting, from, and we all fight to be here. So being alive is just a win. But when you
Mhm.
celebrate that, and what do you say how that would have felt during that time? Because you were such a miracle. I'm sure that has impacted your mom in such a way where, how has she been able to kind of be impacted by that situation? Like what have you seen?
So what I've seen, I'm actually working on interviews for a book that I'm working on in the process of right now. So I've actually interviewed her on my 35th birthday, and one of the things that kept her grounded during that process was her faith in God, and knowing that no matter what she experienced during that time and what was going on with me, that God will bring her through and God will bring me through. There's nothing that can catch him by surprise, because he already knew that this was going to happen. So he already knew the steps that we were going to have to go through to get to the other side.
That's powerful. So you were able to interview your mom and
And my mom and my dad, yeah.
your mom and your dad. Are y'all
I
really
did.
close? Are y'all like have
Oh yeah, yeah. We're pretty close. Yeah, I am one of 6 children. I'm the
oh
youngest of 6.
wow, you're the youngest, the baby.
The baby, yes.
You get you get all the attention.
Yeah,
you're the
at a
miracle
point,
baby at
yes.
that.
Yeah, at a point I did, but now we got nieces and nephews, grandbabies, so it.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. It's I'm cracking up because we never know the stories unless we tell them. So thank you for sharing that. And I just wanted to
Mhm,
see and I'm glad I asked that because I never really asked from a daughter to mom perspective, right? Like
mhm,
what does that look like? Because everything that happens from the mom always trickles down. I mean, you talked about her faith, and I see you just really being one of the, I mean, I've never seen someone have such faith every single day, like physically out loud in our
mhm.
community, y'all. Like Nisa, did I say it right again?
Yes, you got
To pronounce it right. But she will come in every single day in our community. If you're in the Women into Networking WIN community, you'll see that we have members like her that just every single day, she's like motivating and empowering and giving you faith even if you don't have it. There were times where, and I'm just gonna say this as a sidebar, there were times where I went in there and all I saw were your posts just constantly motivating people. And sometimes you don't realize how much of a blessing that is, because you never know who's going to see
Mhm,
that and at what
mhm,
time in their life. Have you, you know, so here's what I want to ask you too, because
mhm,
we're talking about moms and mental health, and we know that we're not moms, so we're not talking from a personal standpoint.
mhm,
But when you are encountering situations, because I know you're always engaging and talking and reaching out, what do you
mhm.
say about moms and mental health that's really something that we need to know today? Like that you have seen and experienced that's really important, but maybe something we're not paying attention to?
I one aspect will be single moms. Um, they do an amazing job, but also they, I believe they fight a silent battle that maybe nobody knows about, because um, in the day-to-day life of a single mother, it's not easy, and they have to navigate the best that they can. There's no guide on how to be a mother. There's no guide on how to parent your children, especially if you have 2 at one time. So, you just do the best that you can, and it's okay if you don't get it right. There's no handbook. You just do the best that you can and keep pushing. And of course, keep praying and know that God will give you the guidance and the tools on how to be that mother that you desire to be.
That's pretty powerful. I didn't even think we were going to go in that direction, y'all.
Oh.
Like, no, that's powerful because I never know what's going to come out because we are all different, have different stories. But I do.
Mhm,
When you said that, it immediately tell me what came up for y'all. But immediately for me, what came up was a couple of my friends that I had that I know for a fact that we've talked about things and I've witnessed things with them, and
mhm,
as a single mom, that's very true, and that's why I love the fact that we do have more resources out now. Like, I'm going to tell y'all one thing that one of my friends did because I saw a girlfriend of mine with her child had autism, y'all. And y'all know where it
mhm,
is. You have a child where you have to like have special care, right? You have to have extra things because they learn different. And
mhm,
and on the outside, I was like, she is handling it like a boss. Like I was just like watching her, like just do everything, just get every resource possible, and even things that you would think would be hard to do, she made it look easy. But later down the line, we tell the story, right? And we
Mhm.
go, oh man, I remember when you did A, B, and C. And then, she goes, oh no, I was in a dark place. I barely could even hold myself together. I was just on autopilot. And even
Mhm.
though things are getting done, and you're on autopilot, what's happening mentally is you're breaking down, you're falling apart.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, like half the time, I know it's just a brain fog. Like you're just like, I can't really focus on me either. So
Mhm.
since you're talking about single moms, okay, because this is what you said,
Yeah.
do your best.
Mhm.
That's
Do your best.
so when it comes down to doing your best, right? There are some tools and things that are out there. What do you suggest? What do you think that single moms and what kind of tools would be the most advantageous right now for them to use to really, support them in their mental health?
One thing I would suggest would be do would be audible book, like start getting into reading, community with other ladies, like, well, of course, single mothers that could glean from what you're going through and you can glean from what they go through because everybody's journey is different. And you may and this person, this single mom may have something that you don't possess, but you're looking at her like, okay, you're carrying it very well. How do you do that? Can you teach me? And this other single mom, she may have a characteristic that this other single mom doesn't have, but she wants what she has. So by them joining together, they can learn from each other and become better mothers together.
That's such a unique perspective because, ideally, I would think that naturally we would want to do that, right? Like, I
Mhm.
would think naturally as, just y'all, don't put me under the bus now here. Like,
No.
I'm literally talking about if I feel like I need to connect, this is just who I am. I'm just like, okay, where are all the other people? Where's my community? Where's my tribe? Right? I'm looking for that.
Mm.
But from what you've seen, do you think that there are a lot of things that stop single moms from doing just that? Because right now we have no lack of community. We have no lack of things to get. So what do you think are the things that are happening that's stopping us from doing that?
Some moms don't want to feel like they're a burden on other moms because they already have enough on their plate. So they more likely stay to themselves.
Mm, that makes sense.
And they don't want to seem helpless.
That makes sense. And I think it's a personal journey, right? Because
Mhm.
because you have to deal with how you feel.
Yeah.
Listen, moms are people too, like
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
women. And so here's the thing. When you were talking about community, this is what came up because we do have different things like I have clients that are moms, and every time I have a new client that's a mom, I invite them into my community because what you talked about with regards to them needing to always be around people that can pull from ideas,
Mhm.
thoughts, even vent sometimes.
Mhm.
Having someone to say, "Oh my God, like that was really hard," and having them say back, "I understand what you feel," because
Mhm.
it's validation. It makes you feel like you're a part of something and they understand you. There's nothing worse than when you're going through this, and you said it, there's no guide, there's no book, right? But you're going
Yeah.
through the journey, you're raising people, okay, with
Mhm.
different personalities,
Yeah.
different things, right? They're just like crazy. You you gotta really be able to support yourself in different ways. So some of the things that I always was doing, like we had the mompreneur motivation. Shout out to Ali because she'll be
Mhm.
coming on one of our lives. So when we talk about community, I always say you have to find community. I don't care, even if you're not a mom, you have to find
Mhm.
community because you never know when you're going to need something. You never know when
Yeah.
and it's not about always, you know, always having to ask for anything. It's just like you want to avail yourself to be a part of something so you can give and receive. It's never like a one-way street in this life, right? There's a yin and a yang to everything. So I want to ask you, what kind of things have you seen some of these moms do when it comes down to, improving on their mental health, maybe coming from a place that they didn't feel safe in?
Repeat that question one more time.
So say if I'm a mom and I just really don't feel comfortable connecting with other moms yet because, maybe I'm a little shy, or maybe I'm just going through some things and I'm not sure if I want to burden people, whatever the case may be. But what are some of the things that can help me overcome that?
One would be prayer, of course. Pray and ask God to plant you in a community where you can receive the help that you desire and not feel judged and not feel like you're a burden on anyone. And then another I would say just put yourself out there, because you never know. Personally speaking, I know I'm not a mom, but in different situations of my life, I had to put myself out there, like with the Win Group. I kept coming, but then I felt like it was a place for me, so I started becoming active.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
sometimes just putting yourself out there will help you become your best self too.
And that's gotta be crazy, because how many moms are like, I'm not getting on a live because I just literally saw a reel from one of our from one of our other members, and she was having like the whole like, I'm a mompreneur, of course, A, B, and C. And one of the things that they were talking about is the kids are always making noise.
Yeah.
Kids are always doing things. The kids are always right. And I want to give grace to that, because I hear a lot of this too. And Nice, I want to hear your thoughts on this. But I hear a lot of back in the day, I used to hear a lot more now, but now I don't as much. But apologies for kids being loud, apologies for kids interrupting a conversation, and it would just be just a really quick, like, oh, sorry, but I kind of thought that was like, natural thing, right? Like, it's natural for your kids to want to interrupt you. They want to know what's going on too. And so that's why some of the things that I feel like we've done to evolve in as mompreneurs is to include our children in our business, so it's not awkward that they show up on a live. Right?
That makes sense. I get that. That makes sense. Because
so
if they see you
go ahead.
Because when they see you operating in business, they'll want to get on to what you're doing. And once they get older, they'll be like, okay, I see my mom do this, so let me venture into this and go become my own boss, become an entrepreneur. So what they see their mom do is what they'll want to do. So yeah, I get what you're saying. So yeah, it's good that we include them now, because once they get to that age, they'll want to become an entrepreneur as well. Like, okay, I saw my mom do this and she excelled, so I'm gonna want to do that as well.
Mm-hmm. Because they see it, they do what they see.
Yeah.
And I think that eases the mindset of a mompreneur too. Because let's talk about it, right? Like, we talked about a couple things. You said like it affects the single moms more than it does maybe some of the moms in relationships. But honestly, it's like it don't matter, because at the end of the day, you could be single in a relationship. You could be in a relationship and still be single, right? Like,
you're right.
I've seen
That is
moms.
so
I've seen moms like, and the reason why I think that this is so important to talk about it from this point, because even as a mom, listen, I was talking to one of my clients and I said, do you have 4 or 5 kids? Because it's like you have a husband, but you don't. It's like, it's another kid. And until you can really, and put it in perspective, it's just a reality, right? It is what it is. And when you realize that someone that's supposed to be your partner is not adding but subtracting from your situation, then there needs to be some decisions that have to be made, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I have seen a lot of us as women sacrifice our mental health to be in situations because it's comfortable, and because, you know, our children, we want them to be safe and have places to stay and things like that. But I want to ask you though, do you think that a woman that is dealing with a situation that is not healthy, that is toxic, that may be, you know, very uncomfortable for her to be in, but, you know, maybe she's not financially prepared to leave. Maybe she, you know, wants to still see if that is going to, I mean, as a mom, I mean, I've seen so many moms stay in situations for their children. What do you think about that? I mean, mental health wise.
Uh, that's a tough one. um, Basically, you were saying the mom staying in a situation that's
Yeah.
not healthy for the kids.
Scenario, I'm a mom of 3.
Uh-huh.
I know that my husband, and a lot of us, this is the thing, a lot of us go through physical, emotional, and uh, uh it's like emotional, and I guess it's not spiritual, but it's like you go through this abuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly emotional for us before it becomes physical. So let's just be real,
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing out there. And I want to just kind of talk to that, because I think that we have kind of been the frog. Have you ever heard of the whole story of the frog boiling in the pot? You know, you put a frog in a hot pot, it's going to jump right out. But if
Oh. Mm-hmm.
turn the water down low enough and boil it over time, that frog's going to die and not even know it's cooked. And that's what a
Mm-hmm.
lot of, I think sometimes as women, when we stay in those situations, especially as moms for our children's sake, what happens is we become cooked. And I want to know
Mm-hmm.
how you feel that does for us when it comes to our mental health, especially over time.
So yeah. Um, Over time, I would my thoughts on that is definitely you have to make up in your mind that you want different for not only for your children but for yourself. Because I think what you were saying earlier, it starts with the mom. So the mother has to make up in her mind that she wants better. And in order to get better, she has to move in a different way of leaving that relationship, or praying, of course, and asking God for a way of escape and a guide on how to have different, so that her mental health is not at stake. And then the mental health of her children, because what affects her can affect her children as well. So yeah. So
I'm
yeah,
back here. There's so many things happening in my back of my head. And then Shannon joined in because she's like, staying for the children is not wise. I just,
oh,
you know, I see it in movies all the time when I was young, and I'd be
oh
like,
yeah.
that's dumb. But I've never been in a situation, so I can't
Mm,
speak on that part, right? I can't speak on behalf of a woman, because we, you know, we got to be real. Everybody has their own situation. We don't know
you're
why
right.
things happen.
You're right. Everybody's situation is different, and why they stay is is their choice, and it's you don't know what their thought process is in that moment, because of course we can say what we would do in that moment, but not being in that moment currently. But if you're actually in that moment, the situation could be totally different, your thought process could be totally different of leaving, staying, what should I do, how should I act, because of children. And also you don't know the mother wouldn't know the outcome of the whole situation, and of leaving and staying. It's just a lot, because if you're not in the situation, you wouldn't know how you would actually move, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Because everybody's journey is different. Because this friend can say, girl, I would leave, girl, I would do this, girl, I would do. But if you're not in it's a whole nother game. It's a whole nother game part because it's yeah. That's a whole that's a lot.
Yeah. And Shannon said you're on point. She's on fire. I really I honor this because the conversation is needed to be had. There are so many things I believe, and I didn't look them up, and I'm not in psychology, y'all. But I love
Mhm.
psychology. But it's not in it. It's not my profession. But I will say that when we as women are the cornerstone of the families, like we manage everything, right? We take care of
Mhm.
the whole entire house, right? The children, the husbands, the parents. I was saying that earlier in one of our rooms, in our moms and mental health room on Clubhouse. I was
Mhm.
like, we end up taking care of our parents right after the kids. Like, how many of y'all put a heart in the comments if you're one of those people that just got your kids out, or they're not even out really all the way, and your parents now need you? Like, so if
Yeah,
you
so it's like yeah.
go ahead,
Yeah, it's
Shay.
like roles reversed. Like the parents taking care of you and then you taking care of your children and now you're taking care of your parents.
That's how it's going. That's what we're seeing now. Y'all know I've seen so much with me even being in that position where my mom, she did the same thing, and yep, that's and I had to step in because I'm like, Mom, you can't do this by yourself. And one thing, and I can use my mom as an example because we have a great relationship now. We got our therapy,
Mhm.
y'all. We went through it all. Okay. But I will say this, as a mom, she taught me a lot. She taught me a lot, not by just her words, but everything
Mm.
she did. And till this day, there are things that I learned from her actions of what not to do. Like, and your children will learn that, right? Like they'll learn
Mhm.
from you one way or the other. They'll learn that I want to do that or I don't ever want to do that, you know? And what I love is that we get to teach them, from a parenting point of view, to say, like, it doesn't always have to be me, the parent, knowing it all. You can even learn from your children.
Oh yeah. I believe that.
You
I
can learn
believe
from your
that.
children. And if you open, I think Shannon said that too in her interview. Um, if you give your children opportunity to kind of share that space with you, right, and tell you
Mhm.
what they need too, because we're just all human beings, right? Like
Mhm.
I remember getting to a point, and they said, did you have this experience where you got to a certain age and you were just like, my mom's a woman too, like she got to do this, like I was like she was once me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Did
she
it
was
feel
once,
different for
yeah.
you from like looking at her as a mom opposed to looking at her as like this woman who has her own life? Does that feel different for you?
Uh, I would say just a little bit, not much. As I reflect now on life oh, and the relationship I have with my mom, like I think that like okay, she was once my age. She once went through some things. I'm going, sometimes I go through things, but at the same time, we are all human, and she could relate on a different level, not the same, but because like I said earlier, our journeys are different. What she may went through in her time is not the same what I may be going through at this time. So in some way or form, we can connect the dots.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I feel. And I feel like, just to the point of the question I was really asking you about, like, what does that do for a mom I mean, we already know what that do because I was in a 7-year relationship that I shouldn't have really been that long, y'all. So I already knew what it did
Mhm.
for my mental health alone. But imagine that in kids. I would have, Jesus, I would have threw somebody
Oh,
out a
wow.
window. I mean, we would have just had it out. I would have been fighting air. I'd have been
Not air.
Yeah, I got so many things, right? Because the truth is that we are experiencing life, and we like, I've never been 40 until I was 40. And my mom hadn't been 60 until she was 60.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say share your life with your children so that they can experience it with you, not under you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it will actually break the mold of some of those things, some of those stigmas, like
Yeah.
stay in the relationship for the children. What? They don't even want it. The children don't even want it. They like, we see y'all unhappy. We don't even like it. We want to get out of here. So
Yeah. Some do, yeah.
depending on their age sometimes. Um, But here's what I also want to say too, because Ali did pop in, and Ali does a mompreneur motivation room that we were just talking about. Nasa, you mentioned that, and you said that if you are experiencing this, especially as a single mom, and you're taking care of your mental health, you need to be surrounded by people who are going to motivate you. If not every day, at least once a week.
Mm-hmm.
So we always encourage you to be around individuals. We have people that are right here in the chat that you can connect with. So I wanted to also offer that, because while you're listening and looking at the live as a mom, you may be thinking right now, well, yeah, I go through that. And yeah, I do feel stuck. And yeah, my brain is foggy and I don't feel like, I just can't even think straight. These are things that, we do go through. And being able to have a place to just reach out for help is just, oh my God, it's amazing. So I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
offer that there. Like Shannon is first time. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. So I also wanted to say this too, right? When we talked about mental health, we said what are some of the things that they could do, right? When it comes down to things that they are already doing, what do
Mm-hmm.
they need to stop doing? Because here's what I know, that we are habitual. This is just how we are as human beings. We don't change overnight. We don't just start something new and then get rid of all the old. So what are some of the things that come up for you, in which you've seen and experienced that you may think moms, single moms even especially, may need to stop doing to help with their mental health?
Think on don't always think on negative. Change the negative and change it into a positive. Like, I'm tired. Thank you, Lord, for the strength that you're giving me to move forward as a parent. So basically, I would say just change the negative narratives and make it positive. Because if it's not positive now, you keep speaking those things that are not as though they are, and they'll become positive. So don't dwell on the negative, dwell on the positive.
I think we need to let that sit. We do a morning affirmation room. Nisa, you come into that room, and when you speak on this topic of the positive change, right? Thinking of your thoughts and changing and reverse re-engineering it. Um, what kind of ways can they do that? Because here's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
If it was that easy, everybody do it, right?
You're right. It wasn't. It For me personally. I'm still have to remind myself when I have like want to speak negative thoughts or have this negative like, oh, I gotta go here again. But no, I get to go here. I get to join Allegra on the live. I get to go to work every day. I get to wake up and stretch my arms. I get to walk. Like, oh, I gotta walk up these stairs. Okay, so I'm not much of an exerciser, but however, I don't like to walk up a lot of stairs, but I will. But okay, so sometimes I may complain about having to go up a lot of stairs, but I get to because not a lot of people can walk upstairs. So it's a blessing in itself to be able to do that.
That is powerful. I don't know if y'all got that part. That is powerful. Um, so, and this is something that I actually, and I remember when I wrote a book when I was in one of the toughest times of my life, y'all, I wrote an entire book of affirmations. It was just the beginning of my journey because
Mhm.
we all have a different journey. And so for me, I needed that. And in the back of the book, I did like put some lists that I got ideas from someone, and it kind of matched what you just said. You
Mhm.
have a journaling process every single day. What if you wrote down everything that you get to do,
Yeah.
right? And I think that that is a great practice, and that's something that is easy. Like that's not something you gotta, go get a coach for, or go through therapy for. I mean, I want to also mention something. Yeah, I also want to mention something about what Shannon was saying in the last live too. Because listen, this is like a series, y'all. Just listen
Mhm.
to every single one and just collect the information and use it to your advantage. We want to use this month as a way to create that awareness for mental health, but mainly for moms, because we just said it like it's basically, if there wasn't a mom, there wouldn't be a world. So just charge it to the game when you see a mom, give your all, right? That's why we honor, what moms do, because there's so much that comes with that. Shannon said, be your own advocate.
Mhm. You know what? I listened to that yesterday, and that was really good. Be your own advocate because you're the only one that can advocate for yourself.
Mm,
Because if
mm.
somebody else were to advocate for you, they may do it wrong. So you want to get it right.
Yep. And this another part of it is be your own advocate too. And I agree with that. And I brought that back up because I think
Mhm.
it resonates so well with this conversation we're having too, and it fits right in. Because when you are able to kind of monitor yourself and you're talking about, changing your thoughts, that means you have to know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Like you're paying attention. You're watching the people that are around you. Who are my supporters? Are the people around me actually here to help, or are they adding or subtracting? um
Mm. Yeah.
I think we have to monitor those things, and this is such an intentional practice. It doesn't come with just jumping out there, right? You got to like think
Mm.
about it.
Yeah, you do. You really have to be intentional with it.
So when you advocate for yourself, you also get to build trust, right? And I want to talk about that being a big part, because we're about to tone this. We are toning the live down. We've been on for a while now. We just want to be respectful of time. I know I would love to talk to Nisa forever. I love to talk to every one of my guests forever. Like we're a whole vibe in my community. So when you see when you see me on other platforms, people are like, "What are they doing?" We just are a vibe. So just come into the community and find out. But Nisa, I just really, appreciate your share today, because it just gives such a different perspective from a very it's very simple from what you brought to the forefront. Because if you've ever been around Nisa, she's always sharing her faith principles, right? And your belief system has to be triggered every single day. You have to renew your faith every single day. And so
Mm.
when I'm thinking about being your own advocate, it's like, what are you doing every single day to trust yourself, to renew your faith? Because if you rely on other people to help you get yourself together, right? Because a lot of people, they say, oh, can you support me? But they really just want to be saved. But if you
Mm.
allow people to do that, right? What happens is when they don't come through, when they drop the ball, then you start having trust issues. But the trust issue isn't with them, it's with you, because you don't
Mm.
trust yourself to make a good decision on who to trust. You don't trust yourself to make a good decision on who to have around you. So we got to build that, because we have the power to do that. As women, we have great intuition. We're born as miracles, miracle moments. I love it. It's just like we're all miracles. We're all miracles. And we get to honor that every day. So, with that being said, I want to, as I put some of these comments on the screen, I just would love for you to give us some of your final words, your takeaways, things that you would want the moms to just walk away from this live with, and know, what's the next step that they should be thinking about doing.
Well, my final words for, if I can say something real quick before I say that, is that
You
okay?
can say whatever you like. Yeah,
Okay,
this is
so
all you.
I want to talk about my mom real quick, because I have a great mom. Um, she not only she had 6 kids, but also two of her nieces and one of her nieces and one of her nephews. So actually, she has a total of 8 kids. Okay. Um, she not only takes care of her household, but she also takes care of other people as well. And as I watch her, I learned so much from her. She's very humble, very giving of herself and her time. Sometimes I think she gives too much, but that's just who she is. And I've learned also from her is how to be a nurturer, how to be a giver, and not in the same aspect of her, but in how I know how to do. Um, I just think the world of my mom. She's amazing. Not trying to cry, but
Go
as
ahead,
we're having this conversation, it just it's just like when you were talking earlier about learning from your mom and what she has taught you. As I think of my mom, I've learned a lot from my mom. Some of what she taught me, I've clung to so tight. Some of it, I just haven't got it yet. I'm still trying to get it. But I just want to say I have a great mom. Um, she's just amazing. And yeah, one of my sisters, she's on. And she's a great mom as well. I have 3 sisters and all of them are great moms. One has 7 children, one has 2, and one has one, a newborn. And they all are great moms. They do the best that they can. Like I said, there's no handbook, but they do the best that they can. And I'm proud of them. So that's what I have to say on that. And final words. I would say just keep pushing. Know that greater is coming. Keep praying. And I pray that for every mother and every aunt who is a mother figure, that the Lord continue to strengthen you from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. Know that God has great plans for your life, and there's nothing that He won't do. He has not failed you yet, and He will not fail you ever. So just keep trusting God. Know that He has great plans for your life, and remember, every moment in life is your miracle moment.
I love that.
Huh?
Nice. So you about to make me cry, girl.
Girl, I was over here trying to like keep it together when you was.
Listen, I don't mind a good cry, y'all. Listen, I will let it out. Y'all will see me over here with them, them duck tears. But I'm a crier and then I get over it, right?
I
But
was crying too.
yeah, and
I
I
think the older I get, the more I get a little emotional. The older I get, the more emotional I get. But it's okay. I cry and then just keep on moving. But I just wanted to say that about my mom because I heard you talking about your mom. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just talk about my mom for a second because she is an amazing mom. Even
well,
sometimes I may not tell her enough, but she is amazing.
I was gonna say we can throw her on here real quick if she about to.
She hasn't gotten to that speed and technology yet, but I will definitely show.
We bring the moms on. We get next time, y'all, we have to bring the moms on because that is true. I have definitely gone through some times where I had to figure and listen, y'all, like that's why I asked you, Nisa. I said, did you have a moment where you had to realize I thought my mom was like just mom, right? Grew up, you're like, you got it. Child, I thought about the sacrifices she made when I became, as I got older. asked more questions, right? Started to see the woman she was. And I was like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
tripping. Because if I had a child right now, or when she had me, and it kept going the way I don't know if I would have been able to figure it out like she did. Like my mom really did a great job, like you said.
Yeah.
Your mom, go ahead.
No, you go. I'll wait till you're done.
No, I was just gonna say, just like you said, your mom did an excellent job. But I was gonna ask you, I wonder what that looked like for her to keep her mental health intact. But go ahead.
Yeah, and as moms, as you were just talking, I was thinking, moms, they carry it so well, but then on the other side, we don't know like how heavy it is for them to carry it. They'll go and go and go, and they'll smile here, smile there, but on the inside, it's like I have all this going on, and I'm just this close from just breaking, but then they just keep on keeping on. So I just thought about that. It's like the weight of what they carry can be so heavy that nobody ever knows.
That's pretty deep. Because I even think that from a mental health standpoint, y'all, and then this is where we're kind of tone down, because I want you to tell them how they can reach out to you and get to know more about you too. But from a mental health standpoint, y'all, we're gonna keep talking about this, but we're honoring our moms, and we're also saying that even through this process, we need to keep supporting them as a woman, right? Because I don't know, like, if I told my story, y'all, I had to tell my mom to come to therapy with me, because I was like, this is just a no-go. We have to work on our minds, and sometimes even our moms need that.
Yeah.
Even they need that extra push to say, listen, I know that you're my mom, but these are things that are supporting me, helping me, affirmations, right? Like sometimes, y'all, and I'm just telling y'all all the little things. So, only because we done did the work. But just for anyone else out there, because me and you, Nice, so we just kind of took a different turn. We're talking about our moms and both sides of it, right? We don't know what they go through. So us as adults, as women who may be healing, who understand the world a little differently, right? And maybe have kids of our own, we can say, I know the struggle you went through. I can see you as a woman. I can see you, queen, but hey, let's work on that.
Like, that's good. Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So tell us, how can we, I know you told us a little bit about yourself, but Nysa does a lot of good work when it comes to notary. She has.
Yes, I am a North Carolina notary. And I also do logo graphic design, PowerPoint presentation. If you guys need programs, business cards, PNG files, I do a little bit of everything. So, you guys can reach out to me here on Facebook, Nasya Shepard. My website is mirakulmoments.com. That's MIRAKULMOMENTS.com. And I'm also on Instagram, Miracle Moments 2024, and also on TikTok. So yeah, that's how you guys can reach out to me. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I'm back here just talking on mute. I know. I was saying I'm trying to spell it right. Yeah. I was trying to spell it right. So it's MIRAKUL moments.
Yes, ma'am. .com.
Okay, hold on. I want to make sure this is the right spelling. And then I'm going to put this up on the screen for y'all, okay? And here's what I want you to do. I want you to follow Nysa, okay? We're saying Nysa. It's not Nasa, it's Nysa.
Like nice, Nysa.
Nice. And listen, for what 3 years I've been saying it the wrong way. and NISA has been in our community for a long time. Before we were even in the nonprofit, like she was in the room, okay?
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for that too, because sometimes, I don't get a chance, and let me know if this is spelled wrong. I don't get a chance to actually
Is that for the
think.
website or Instagram?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
You
it's Miracle Moments for Instagram, Miracle Moments 2024. But just
okay?
for the
And then the website is
miraclemoments.com. So that was
okay.
easy. Yeah.
I
There
got you.
you go.
I got you.
You got it. You got it.
I got you. But listen, the reason why I want to just honor this time is because before I started doing a lot of these things, I'm very active right now, y'all can see how the community has grown and how we're just pretty much rocking and rolling for some time now. And it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have supporters like NISA. Right, you got to look at the big picture. There are so many people come through our spaces over time, but you're like the OG. Okay, like the like the back of the day, we came from type. And so I just want to thank you publicly for that, because it's just such a beautiful thing to see the overall growth and to see how we can support you as much as possible with that growth. And so y'all do me a big favor, go visit NISA, get into her social media, get inspired and motivated by her words of encouragement. And you know what, that's just an honor to your mother at this point, because you were her miracle, you are all of our miracle. And thank you for also being vulnerable and just sharing your truth, because people don't realize this, but I'm just super authentic
Mhm.
about when people come out and they talk about their stories. There's no pretty pictures here, right? We're here to talk about our truths, and
Mhm.
that's just where we are. Um, and I think that when you come up and you're able to share tears with us, you're able to talk about deep moments of perspective, to say, I never thought about that, but that was pretty deep. Let me share my viewpoints. When you do that, it touches the heart and the soul of everyone who's listening. So thank you for that, Nisa. I really appreciate you.
And I want to thank you as well. You're welcome. And I want to thank you as well for this space, the WIN community. When I first started a long time ago, I was just sit in the audience and just listen. And then a couple times I would come up on stage and speak, and I was like, I don't know. But at in that, it's helping me not only just in networking, but also in self development and speaking. Because believe it or not, I'm not one to really speak a lot like this. But the more I do it, I get comfortable, and it just helps me with my personal development, because I just, for one, personally, sometimes I don't think I speak as well as others, but it is my journey, so I have to go through it and learn from where I started from and just improve day to day. So thank you for the space, Allegra. I thank God for you, and I pray continued blessings upon your life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Nisa. I receive. And thank y'all for listening through this entire live. The comments very much appreciated. I just love to see where we're able to share with you all. Thank you for all of the beautiful words. Your sister Cora for coming through and just showing love there. And for all of you who are listening and watching on the replay, we're going to be doing this for the rest of the month. We have a couple more guests. But as we do go through this, listen, I'm not going to lie. I go back to these myself. Shannon's interview, I played that at least 6 times already. So, and I'm talking about all the way through, y'all. This is some
Mhm.
good, deep rooted information we need to hear, and it's good for our soul, because a lot of these conversations are just not being had, right? Like we know that it's the truth of it, but just to hear someone say it out loud, to hear someone validate that, yeah, that's how I'm feeling, right? That's a really, really good thing to hear and to be a witness. And I've seen a lot of that lately. So thank you again, Nasa. Nicer. Y'all just every time y'all tell me I owe y'all dollars because I don't like paying nothing. Jesus, I've been saying it too long. But thank you so much, Nisa. I will get that together.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. We'll see y'all later. Have a great day.
Have a good one.